Wow. Good evening and salutations, my Beyond the Gates fans. I hope I'm not yelling, but I'm still charging my laptop, so I have to use my phone. And sometimes the volume is good, sometimes it's bad, and so if I talk a little bit more louder, and I do apologize for that. Chelsea and Kat. We'll call them cringe session number 2. Okay. Let me just tell you something about these two women. Okay? These are the type of women that you want to avoid at all costs. Okay? Because throughout this vapid conversation, both of those two come across as very self-absorbed. Now, after they sit there and talk about their little business or whatever that, let's be honest, no one really cares about. Chelsea talks about her idiotic decision to sit there and hook up with a married couple and then get upset and quote unquote heartbroken when they decide to be like, no, you were just for fun. We not breaking this up. You were just a little fun or whatever. And she actually, I can't believe I actually have to put this shit into words. Okay? She literally sat there and said, and I'm saying this verbatim, I really thought that we had this 3-way connection. I think that might have been among the stupidest things I think I've ever said. And I've said some dumb things, and I will continue to say some dumb things, but she felt that she had a connection. She felt she had this 3-way connection. And then she talks about how she was practically being nasty to her dad for essentially trying to make her feel better. Talk about one ungrateful ass girl. Now, Kat talks about her issue with Tomas and, you know, how he feels about Eva, and she tries to make it seem like, oh, Tomas is trying to sit there and see stuff from her perspective, and she's trying to make it seem like, oh, well, he's like forcing her, or like he is forcing her. I don't even remember what the hell she said, but she's just upset with the fact that, like, you know, he's kind of giving her a benefit of the doubt, and he doesn't agree with her assessment. And that's what it comes down to. You know what this idiot says? She's like, oh, you just got here. What did she say? Who told him he can have an opinion? Now, that might have been some sort of vapid-ass joke that she said, and I really hope that that was the case, okay? Because women like those two, they don't want another opinion. They want their opinions to agree with what they have to say. Oh, you don't believe me? There's a point where Chelsea's like, you know, Thomas does have a point. She is biologically your half-sister. You know what Kat says? Well, I'm already, you know, kicking people out of my life or whatever. You want to be next? Because she disagreed with you? Obviously, it didn't go anywhere, and they're cool and everything like that, but it was like, oh, goddamn, girl. And of course, Tomas gets there after talking to Bill about notes or whatever that he wanted for spying on a meeting, right? So after he does that, he goes over there, and we're gonna talk about I'm gonna get to the other part, but we're gonna talk about Anita and Tracy. Man, you know, in some levels, this is probably the dumbest shit that I've seen so far. Okay, Because this is completely and utterly acidine that she has to essentially apologize for wanting to take care of herself and take care of her career. And all she keeps doing is bringing up, oh, well, you landed on your feet and, you struck out with your kids and you live in this great life with your castle and everything like that. I'm like, yo, all those goddamn snide comments, I would have been kicked that chick out of my goddamn house. I'm like, why are you even sitting there entertaining this shit? She's trying to, like, listen, I didn't mean to hurt you. Yeah, she didn't mean to hurt you, but you know what? Shit happens, okay? She wanted to sit there and do something for herself. And you know what? Listen, it sucks that y'all two couldn't sit there and strike it big and everything like that, but you know what? Oh, effing well. That was like over what, 40, 50 something years ago? And you still holding on to this petty ass little grudge? And so at this point, Anita says nicely, okay, you know what, listen, let me sit there and give you a car, get you to the airport, pay for your flight ticket or whatever, and kind of, get you back to where you were going. And Tracy's like, so you tell me after one disagreement, you're ready to sit there and kind of just end things? Girl, I would have been end things the minute that those little snide ass comments came a couple of days ago. Yes. Because at this point, here's the thing. The fact that she has to sit there and entertain somebody and take their little snide jabs here and there, like, oh, well, we're not going to break. No, F breaking through at this point. That shit is already broke, okay? Now, I might have broke it back in the day, but I brung you over here so we could sit there and talk, and all you doing is that they're giving me attitude and lip service, and just like snide comments. Ain't nobody here for that. Maybe it's just me because I'm a person that does not have patience for that. I don't. And after Vernon comes in, Vernon's like, "We good?" And then they talk a little bit more, and then they talk about Sharon, and Tracy's like, listen, I'll talk to her. Like, okay, cool. I was giving you little snide comments here and there, but now I'm sitting there being super supportive, and I'm like, is she sick from all the back and forth that she keeps doing? Like this emotional, like just. And then afterwards, she's like, oh, and she kept calling her ruthless. You're so ruthless. You're a very ruthless person. You just left us, and it was like, no, I don't think that she was ruthless. And I hate saying this word. I don't think that she was ruthless. I just think that you two bitches didn't have enough spine to sit there and hack it after she left. And that's a y'all two problem. Okay? That's what that comes down to. But when she does leave, she's all upset. She's all like, oh, I was so ruthless, I did this. Girl, did you just forget all the accomplishments and all the things that you did for the community? The foundations and the charity work and stuff like that you did to uplift your community. Yeah, you might have did some stuff that you probably weren't too proud of. It is what it is, but you balance it out with the good stuff that you put into the world. And now you letting this dusty ass chick come back in your life and start tarnishing all the good that you did because she's in her feelings and she's petty. Take your petty ass back to whatever hole that you crawled out of. I just yeah. I'm not a patient person. No. And speaking of non-patience, there's a point where Haley is just kind of the galas and this and that and the third, and she wants to sit there and spend some time with Bill. And she also talks about how the second wife gets like 20% less, or whatever the original wife got. The honeymoon that got cut short and some other stuff and not being welcome to the club and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know if she tried to do this as a way to slide in the news or whatever, but long story short, she's like, hey, listen, I'm pregnant. And they kind of go back and forth a little bit, but then they're happy and they rejoice and stuff like that. And of course, it didn't last because that idiot known as Chelsea decided to come in and was like, oh, tell me you're joking. Oh, you thought that you got shunned before. Oh, wait till this baby comes now. Are you gonna shun half your brother, half your sister too, because you're in your little petty feelings? I don't have patience for women like her. And I don't know if she's Gen Z or Gen X or whatever the hell you want to sit there and call it, but she just comes from a long list of very self-absorbed, oversensitive, crybaby ass people. And so every time she talks, it's just like, it feels like somebody is, and this is where we get to the second part. It feels like somebody's taking a nail and they start doing beep, 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 beep. Oh, my bad. And then we get to Cringe Fest number 2. And that is Samantha and Terrell and Jessica, right? And long story short, Jessica likes Terrell and tries to get some advice from Samantha on how to approach it. And long story short, they kiss. And I guess Samantha's work is done and she's happy and she walks away at the end. Now, Smitty is tired of Martin dodging, okay? He wants to know what's this conversation going on with Bill. And long story short, Martin just does Martin does best. Lie, manipulate. Oh, he just wants to sit there and try to get you in his pocket because, you know, you're a part of the press and he needs somebody and he was just using you and just playing you and stuff like that. You sure there's nothing else going on? Absolutely not. Bill is practically the next devil. He's the second coming. You know, he's the Antichrist, you know? So that's what that comes down to. Just so that way you know. Because, you know, I'm not about keeping secrets or anything. And Smitty believes him. Yep. Smitty believes him. Now Tomas does come there, and, you know, long story short, Tomas and Kat actually talk. There's a point where Kat's like, oh, because Tomas is like, you know, listen, if you want to get to know me, you know, I think he said something along the lines of, well, you don't really know me. And she starts asking these basic questions like, well, what do you do for fun? What do you do on the weekends? And, you know, she finds out a lot about him. But this is before, at first she was like, okay, well, let me go through your socials. And I'm like, you know, not every person puts every single aspect of their life on social media. You want to know you want to know who that person is? Just ask. Anyway, we find out more about Tomas, and, you know, he's does the whole Big Brother thing. He works out. He likes sci-fi romance novels or whatever. You know, Kat lets her guard down and, you know, gives him some insight about her and everything. So, you know, they worked it out. And long story short, Tomas is like, listen, I'm not trying to make you like and accept Eva. You know, I'm not trying to do that. But, you know, ultimately what it comes down to is, you know, with got her goddamn name. With Kat, it's like, you know, listen, you can agree to disagree. It's totally okay. It's not against the law. It's not against the goddamn rules to be like, you know, listen, you want to be sus of her and everything like that. That's fine. We get that. You know, you already had one interloper in, and you saw how that turned out. So I understand, and she don't know who ran her off the road. So okay, fine, whatever. But anyway, long story short, they worked it out. Oh, and then Vernon came back and he did one of his speeches or started to go into speech mode about something or forgiveness or something. I have no idea. That man he just starts rambling, just going on and on and on and on and on and on. And that's when I started looking at the time like, what time is it again? Anyway, that's how she's going to do it. Now, I'll sit there and watch Born and Beautiful. Then I'll sit there and do the live stream. And we'll talk about this stuff. And it's funny too, because I was like, maybe I should sit there and skip this video. And after what I saw, I was like, no, after that, no, I don't care if the live stream got to start late. I gotta talk about this. So, anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Share the video because it really does actually help. And no, seriously, really do share the video. I know that's kind of like an extra step, but it does actually help grow the channel. And yeah. Also, check out my video yesterday. It wasn't a review per se, but it just was my thoughts about my overall feelings on Beyond the Gates, so definitely check that out. And we're going to get into all this stuff tonight the minute I get done watching Bold and the Beautiful.